Hello, wonderful attendees. I'm your host, Dalvinder Kaur from Lovely Professional University. Get ready to dive into today's topic, that is benefits of a specialized CSE degree. Which specialization provides a truly future-proof tech career? Before we proceed further, allow me to introduce the experts of that day, Mr. Deepak Venugopal, co-founder, Culvium, with 16 years of experience in growing brands, creating leaders and transforming businesses across Asia with Colgate and KFC with a blend of creativity and compassion. Mr. Deepak is curious with the passion, spanning fitness, food, cricket, and more. Before we proceed further in today's session, I would like to request everyone for any questions you can write in the chat box or in the Q&A box, and same will be addressed from my side in the end of this webinar. And now I hand over the thanks to Mr. Deepak Venugopal, and it would be an absolute delight to listen from him. Over to you, Mr. Deepak.
Thank you, Dalvinder. And hello, everyone. Hello, all students. Very happy to meet you here today and do this webinar on behalf of LPU. And without much ado, let's get on to the topic of discussion here, right? Before we get into the details of the topic, right, I'll just first give you some housekeeping very quickly. So students, what you can do is while you're going through, so I'll take another 15-20 minutes to talk about the topic today. But in the meantime, if you have any questions, any clarifications, feel absolutely free to type it in the question and answers box, and we will answer all your questions. So we'll make sure that we answer all questions that are addressed today. All right. So with that note, let me get started. Right. Today you guys are all here, probably finished your 12th and waiting to join college very soon, right? LPU, I think, is starting very soon, next week, I guess. By this time, you must all be here and checking out your hostels and college and all of that. So there is generally this feeling, right? Because all our school life, you've been told just one more year, just the board exams. Once you've finished 12th and got into a college, life is set, right? That's what we all been told. And we are so keen and we're excited, nervous about joining college and making the right decision because there are hundreds and thousands of courses in front of you today. So in my time, there were hardly any courses. It was very easy to make a decision. Today, it's so difficult to make a decision because you have so many options in front of you. How do you make a decision? How do you know that you made the right decision? And what is the right decision? What is a good decision, right? So hopefully by today's session, you'll get a better idea on how to make a decision and how to choose the right program if you're interested in computer science engineering, right? So is it enough to just do a plain vanilla, or do you need a specialization? Do you need the right specialization for a great career? So if you just want placements, any placements, kuch bhi chalega, like all we need to do is just find something, find a job, and then life goes on. If that is okay and enough, then anything is fine, right? So then you can just go with any program that you like. But if you want to get dream placements, if you really want to aspire for more, achieve a lot, learn with joy, and be very capable at the end of these 4 years. You worked so hard in 12 years. Wouldn't you want your 4 years to be fantastic so that you start well, right? And in the real world, then you need to do something different. And here, what you're going to see is what leads to dream placements. If that is your objective from college, and if you want dream placements, what can you do at college to ensure that you get those dream placements? You don't leave it to chance, right? Because there's always the tens of thousands of students that you're going to be competing within the university, and there'll be lakhs and lakhs of students that you'll be competing outside the university also, because companies are looking at multiple universities. They're looking for the best student period across the country. So if you want to be one among them, then you need to have that extra edge. And if that is what you're looking for, then whatever we're going to talk about next is going to help you make that decision. So essentially, uh, what leads to dream placement? So we went and spoke to a lot of people in the industry. We spoke to your future employers, right? If you would like to be in any of the companies that are marked out here, Amazon, Google, Intel, Zerodha, Tata, and MG, Geo. We spoke to tech specialists in all of these companies and many more. And we checked with them, hey, what does it take to get a dream placement? What does it take to not just get a dream placement, but a dream career in tech? How do you ensure that you can have a fantastic career in tech? How do you succeed a lot? How do you get into these roles? What is required, and what can students do in their engineering to become like you, right? So that's what we asked them, and what they told is that the secret to dream placements is essentially real world knowledge. So they have different words for it: practical knowledge, hands-on experience, hands-on knowledge, real world knowledge, industry designed curriculum, and stuff like that. But essentially what they require is that we need people to be able to do things in the real world. So they don't care about, can do I know information. They don't care about if there is good information in my head. Can I give you 30 word definitions, 50 word definitions, or essay answers? They don't care about that. They care if you can make things happen in the real world, if you can make things work, if you can make things, build things. That's what they care about. So that real world knowledge is what they say they test you for. And if you demonstrate that, then dream placements is easy. It's not even difficult. It is super easy. Then you will have a lot of companies vying for you than the other way around. So that is what they said. And then what does it mean by being real world ready? So they mean that, if why don't you real world, you become real world ready, not by just having marks and grades and stuff like that. It doesn't help. You get real world ready if you can demonstrate professionalism, if you can demonstrate real coding skills, right? If you have written, say, tens of thousands of lines of original code before you graduate. If you have the domain knowledge, if you really have the knowledge of what happens exactly, what will happen. Like yesterday, there was a Microsoft outage. Can you tell us what went wrong? What was possibly wrong? How can we avoid this in the future? Do you have a beautiful portfolio of projects which you have actually worked on? Right? Do you have the right communication skills? Not just to speak, right? It's also understand problems, articulate problems in a clear way so that everybody can understand. So these are the things that you need to be real world ready, right? And this is beyond just what subjects are there. Will this specialization get me? Nothing like that. These are common to all specializations, and these are the skills that you require to really succeed and get your dream placement. So what we did is, as Calvium, as a company, we went back to these guys and said, hey, if you want to get people ready for this, why don't you yourself create a BTech CSE program? आप ही program बनाइए और आप बताइए कि that program which you think will get the dream candidates you are looking for. Uh, you make a program for them, and we will take it. So this is the industry driven program that we are presenting to you today. The right specialization, which is the best BTech CSE program, which will give you the right skills to succeed in the real world, right? So if you see that, like the highlights of this program, I'll briefly put this and we'll see how this works out. So in this program, you learn the best curriculum, the most up-to-date curriculum designed by industry experts. Some of the names you saw in the previous slides and many more experts have come together to design this program. This program also offers you paid internships at top tech companies from the second year onwards. तो आप सेकेंड ईयर से ही प्लेस होने लग जाओगे. You will start having internships right from your second year. And these are paid internships, so you can earn up to 12 lakhs even before you graduate, right? And you can graduate with up to 3 years of work experience, which means when you pass, you are already like a senior software engineer. So dream placements will happen like that. And if your other colleagues, classmates from different other branches or regular computer science, probably might join as your juniors in the same company. So this is how the best program is designed. अरे ऐसे कैसे हो सकता है, if you ask me? ये हो सकता है, and we'll discuss to you in detail. So this program, this is what it is called. If you go to your LPU website, it's called BTech Computer Science Engineering in Software Product Engineering in tie-up with Calvium. So I represent Calvium. Calvium is I'm one of the co-founders actually, and we have designed this in partnership with all these industry leaders and academic leaders to create this program, which gives you all these fantastic benefits, right? So what is the advantage which you get only at Calvium, right? और कोई program में नहीं मिलेगा, सिर्फ यहाँ मिलेगा. ये क्या advantage है? What is it really, right? If you ask, these are the three advantages of the Calvium program. active learning versus passive learning, mentorship versus lectureship, and real world exposure. I'll talk about all of these very shortly. In the meantime, if you have any questions, you can just start putting them on the chat box in the Q&A box, and I'll answer all of them at the end of this. So if you look at active versus passive learning, what do you mean by active learning? So at Kalyan, we follow active learning. Unlike typical classrooms, which follow passive learning, we follow active learning. So what is active learning? In very simple terms, passive learning is reading a book about swimming, right? Watching videos about swimming, or hearing other people talk about swimming. Whereas active learning is jumping into the water, be it a first in a little swimming pool and learning how to swim, and then moving on to a river and moving on to the sea and learning to swim on your own. So that is active learning, and that is what you do at the Kalvium program. You just don't learn about things, you learn how to do things, right? It's learning by doing. So in a typical engineering program, 80%, 80 to 90% actually is theory. Barely 10 to 20% is practical, and that too is a very structured practical. So all of you would in that would be doing the same experiments, right? You'd have the same assignments, same experiments, same inputs, same outputs, and it's a very structured practical. In the Kalvium program, it's only 20% theory, 80-90% is practical, and this is also very individualized practical where you create original content, right? You'll create original code, you will create original build original websites, products, apps, applications, all of that. So it's a very hands-on program that you would have. So which means that right from day one, so these are all first year students presenting the code to their colleagues, to their classmates, of what they've done. Why did they create a code in a particular way? Or if they created a game, they're showing them why they created it that way, how it works, and all of that. So you learn all of this by doing. It's not just learning, reading about it. You read it, you make it, and you also present it to your team. And these are all experience that you get only at the Kalviam program, right? So here are some of the projects by our first year students, right? So typically आपको घर पे बोला जाता है don't play games. At Kalvium we say don't just play games. Why don't you also create your own games? So that's how you learn, coding and computer science. So that's the best way to learn. So we encourage you to come and do. These are some of the games. Almost every student has to create these things as a part of the program and create their own stuff. So it's kind of unique to the students as well, and they learn and by writing original code themselves, right? So that's active learning, right? So if you want to still do theory and do end semester exams and write long answers like you did for your board exams, then the regular engineering program is best for you. But if you want to forget that world, become adults from day one and start active learning, then this is the place for you. Okay, so that is one. The other one that we do very uniquely at Kalvium is something called mentorship versus lectureship. So iska kya matlab hai? So if you look at lectureship is typical what lectures, right? The way you would have experienced in school or coaching classes. There is general guidance. There is a teacher talking to 60, 100, 50, I don't know how many students at the same time. And they are bothered about finishing their course, their syllabus, their curriculum. उनको अपने portions खत्म करने होते हैं, right? So they focus on theoretical knowledge, one-way delivery of knowledge. Even you asking doubts and questions, you would feel shy about asking because you keep asking the same question and the teacher starts looking, hey, you don't understand, or the friends will start giving you stares, and or most of the students try not to sleep in the class, right? So that's the reality of classrooms mostly if it's a lectureship based classroom. However, at Kalvium, we don't have any of those. It's a mentorship based classroom. So it's a personalized guidance. You have industry trained mentors in the class along with you who would give you one-on-one attention, right? They would give you personalized guidance if you're getting stuck in your coursework. The focus is not just you learning the coursework, but also on your individual development. How are you understanding things? How are you incorporating things in your life? How are you incorporating what you've learned in your practical life? So there's a lot of focus on individual development, right? which means the whole classroom itself is set up like a company. It's not a typical classroom. These are pictures from actual classrooms, right? Uh, that you would study in this program. They mimic modern workspaces. They are like any company. Suppose tomorrow you go to check out any great software company or IT company or any company for that matter. If you go to Google, Microsoft, Facebook, TCS, Infosys, whichever company, you go to any good company, this is how their offices look like. That's how your classrooms are also designed. So it is not rows of benches looking at a teacher, but it is people coming together, working together along with their mentors. So it's a very mentoring driven approach. These are some other classrooms from the Kalvium program. This is how students do. They also have games within the classroom, teams up. Sometimes they team up with each other and have competitions and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun environment as well, right? So this is the difference in the approach when students come together in a mentorship based approach, and which also means that they also help you mentor you into many other things as well. For example, they'll mentor you. You can also go and since you get this personalized attention, you don't have to be stuck to a particular curriculum. You can go and attend a lot of other extracurricular stuff. Like these are students from LPU winning tens of thousands of rupees in competitions, coding competitions, hackathons, and things like that as well. So these are the benefits of going through a mentorship based approach, right? So that's mentorship. Then finally, we look at real world experience. So here from day one, you learn real world skills, right? So uh, people think that if they know definitions of different terms in computer science, they'll get a job. They won't, right? You need real world skills. That's what you heard the experts say also before. So software development engineering is the core to all CSE specialization. Suppose tomorrow you want to join any of the branches: AI, ML, quantum computing, AR, VR, blockchain, cyber security, whatever be the case, if you really want to succeed in them, then you need to have this core of software development in you. This is kind of the basic requirement to succeed or to even build anything in any of these domains. This is super important. And these skills, right? These are the skills that the industry needs you to have. Unfortunately, these are not typically taught in any course curriculum. And what you see here, like example, the MERN stack, certain front-end development tech stacks, back-end tech stacks. None of these are typically taught in any college, typical college curriculum, right? But they are super essential to succeed in a company. If you already know them, if you already know how to use them, if you already build things with them, then you have an edge in placements, and that is where you get your dream placement. And these are key industry tech stacks which give you an advantage in placements. These are not even taught in the IITs. तो आपको लगता है आईआईटी में ये सब सीखते हैं? नहीं, आईआईटी में भी नहीं सीखते हैं. This is, for example, this is the IIT curriculum. Even there, you don't learn these things. You can learn it in this program right here at LPU. So these are the benefits, which also give you a lot of real world exposure, a global industry exposure that pays. So students from this program have within the first year have been able to crack programs like GSOC. I don't know if you're aware of GSOC. GSOC stands for Google Summer of Code, which is a highly competitive program. It is, if not more competitive than the IITs. It's more difficult to crack a GSOC than to crack an IIT, where people across the world participate. And the first year students from Kalyan have been able to crack GSOC this year, and you get paid internships at companies which are affiliated with GSOC. So fantastic, and these are the opportunities that you can also aim for if you join this program. So not just classroom things, but here, and also you can get internship at many other brands. These are some of the top brands where Kalyan students do their internship. Brands like Morgan Stanley, PhonePe, Tata 1mg, Fresh Menu, Clary, Aero. All of these are fantastic companies. Plena Data, companies into banking, retail, consulting, technology, payments, AI, ML, robotics, data sciences. All these companies are coming to recruit students. these are first year students of Calvium of this program. So from your second year onwards, you are working in these companies while you study, right? So in paid internships. So these are the places where students intern for good money, right? So this is the stipends that they've been earning. And across different sectors, students get more than one internship. And this is actual statistics from LPU, right? On an average, right, students have recovered around 60% of their annual fees. सोच के देखिए, while studying in your second year, if you start recovering up to 60% of your annual fees, and this is an average. Some students have recovered way more than this as well. So, uh, wouldn't that be great? You don't have to wait for 4 years and another few years before you get a job and start doing well to recover your fees that you've paid. You can start recovering them right from your time at college. So, this is the benefit of joining such a program. And we get a lot of love from our recruiters. Fantastic. They find Pallium students great. The students love the program, especially after they get placed and they're doing some fantastic work. So what we also have is a small audio bite from, I'll just share this again so that you guys can see the thing. So we've got a small audio bite from LPU's very VP themselves.
Sorry to say, Mr. Deepak, there is no sound. Can you please switch on the sound?
Oh, you should have told me earlier. I thought there was sound. That's why I'd shared this again.
Yeah.
Uh, can you hear the sound?
Yes.
See, I
Thank
think
you.
we have a very interesting relationship with Calvium as a partner in our industry academy interface. I strongly believe that we have to work with the industry if we want to make a human resource which is relevant to the industry need. And I think Calvium, their work integrated program, and the whole team has worked very hard to ensure that this industry academia really fits into each other like hands and gloves. And I have my share of apprehension when we were starting the program. I was not sure that how this program is going to pan out and how it's going to look like or accepted by the students or also by the industry. But I tell you that I think this is one of the very interesting program that the university at our university at LPU we have been able to start. And I think the numbers are small, but I think that's perfectly fine. The numbers are small, but I think the impact is very, very strong. I have met a lot of students who are, almost all the students who are into the work integrated program by Calvium at LPU. And I tell you, when I meet the students, I talk to the students, they have a different perspective about how do they approach work and problem. So I strongly believe that through this work integrated program, they are getting the right skill knowledge, and also they're getting grounds when they're working in the industry as intern right after their first year. They're getting to learn the skills in the classroom, at the same time able to implement things in the industry as an intern, and hopefully they're going to get jobs much better than the peers, because by the time when they graduate after by finishing their 4-year programs, they would have at least 2.5 to 3 years of experience. And picture this, that there's a guy who was having a 3 years of experience right after the undergrad and somebody who does not have it. Who are you going to pick? I'm surely going to pick somebody who has that 3 years of work experience. So I'm sure it's a great model. It is definitely a demanding model. Student has to be really motivated to go through this grind of managing the job as well as the academia. But I think Canada, Waterloo University, and there are a lot of universities who are a strong promoter of this program, and we have seen their success. So I'm very optimistic and want to take this program to the next level. So we are trying to build this kind of program in all the various disciplines that university has to offer, because we are having some great feedback from the students.
So you have a fantastic program, limited seats. So you have to apply quickly, or you have to apply for a program transfer. In case you want to apply for a program transfer, for some reason I have an error. Just give me a second. So you can put your questions in the Q&A box. I can share the answers. Otherwise, we'll just play the.
So thank you so much, Mr. Deepak. Can we, shall we wait for the questions? We are already.
Yeah, we can wait for the questions as people put on the questions. Guys, you can please put your questions. I'll just show you how you, from your portal, can apply. So I think you had already gone through these as LPU students already. If you have chosen these, you have to have physics, chemistry, maths. And once you have taken the LPU nest, this program, software product engineering, you have to pick that up and you have to just drag it to the top. Right. So see that carefully. Software product engineering. Once you drag it to the top as your preference, software product engineering, there you go. You will have to then do a small interview. And then once you submit, you'll be required to apply for an interview. So when you go back to the dashboard, it would say very clearly here, right? Like you'll have to take an interview, and that's all. Okay, on that note, let me. If there are no more questions, I think we can kind of progress from here, and then we can call it. Guys, if you have any questions, you can. This is the time to ask them.
Yes. Participants, if you have any questions, you can write in the chat box or in the Q&A box. Our expert, Mr. Deepak, is here to answer all your queries. Let's wait for another 1-2 minutes. So if participants have any queries regarding admissions, they can write on admissions@lpu.co.in and kindly ask your questions, your queries in Q&A box or chat box.
All right then. Thank you so much, folks.
Yes.
All right.
So thank you so much once again to our expert, Mr. Deepak Venugopal. As we come to the end of this webinar, I want to express my deepest gratitude to our experts for sharing their valuable insights and expertise with us. Your presence, enthusiasm, and active participation have made this experience truly special. Hopefully the attendees found this webinar to be valuable and will be able to utilize the information for better decision making regarding admissions. If anyone wants to access this webinar again, they can visit a website that is lpu.in or can be accessed on YouTube also. Stay connected with us for future webinars. Until we meet again, with the permission of my seniors, I would be signing off this webinar. Take care and goodbye. Have a beautiful day.